everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Barbara and I'm so happy that you're here today because today we've got a little bit of a hybrid video, very exciting. I'm filming this a little bit early because I'm just that excited. It is now beginning of November, first week of November, but this video is going to be the HRCYED tag. So what is it called? I'll get around to it later tag, combined with a HRCYED challenge vlog. We are first going to go through the tag questions and what books fit for those questions, because that might affect some of the books that I'll be picking for the challenge later on. If you don't know why that matters, it is because the secret prompt for November is to do this, I'll get to it later tag, and read as many books from it as possible. And if you read that, for every book you read from that list this month, you can count another book that you read in 2025 before HRCYED started for HRCYED. So that's very prestigious, I would say. So I really want to do this tag, and so I thought that's what we would start with, and then maybe I will be able to pick from those books some to read for the challenge that we'll be doing next weekend. So this is going to be combined, where I'll be talking about the books for the tag and then later also the vlog for the challenge. So if you are ready to get into it, because we'll start with the tag. I honestly have no idea how long this video will be. I hope not too long. Get yourself some tea. I just made myself tea that I've been also postponing. I got myself, or like I bought a tea that's like not caffeine, not teen. It's actually this one there, Twinnings, exotic mango and strawberry herbal tea with like hibiscus and stuff. So I haven't tried it, I just opened it, but I've had it for a few weeks, so I thought this was perfect timing to try this tea. You know, I'll try that later, I'll read it later, I'll drink it later. Here we are drinking this tea, so make yourself some tea or beverage of choice and let's get into the tag. So the first question is a classic book that you have been meaning to read forever but haven't read yet. And this is a tricky one because I don't typically read classics, and the ones that I do want to read I already read, except one that I have, well, I read it when I was in high school, I think. And then I started the second book in the series and I DNF'd, but that was in high school. Now it's 15 years later and maybe it's time to reread it, and that is, let me grab it, the Lord of the Rings series. I have this beautiful fake leather edition, absolutely gorgeous. I love these ones. Of course they are not possible to read because the font is tiny, like, hello. Impossible to read, but I love these editions. They are very soft. I read Fellowship of the King and I thought it was boring, but I liked it, and then I went to read The Two Towers, but I gave up halfway through because I thought it was boring. But maybe I approach books very differently these days, so this would be my pick for this, that the classic I've been postponing. So I would like to read the entire series, so of course we would reread The Fellowship of the Rings, which I read like 15 years ago. So this would be my pick for that prompt. Gorgeous edition. Question number 2 is a book on your shelf you haven't read yet. Should we go through all of them? Should we go through all of them? But no, we're not gonna go through all of them, but I actually made a list of books that I would that are perfect for this, and the books that I always go to first. So on my bookshelves, if we go actually in the detail of it, on my bookshelves I have a total of 276 books, like physical books. And out of these 276, I have read 136. So there is 139 unread books on my shelf at the moment. So that is way too many. So I decided to go through the ones that I always go through, like always go at first. So there we have quite a list, so let's just get into it. Okay, watch me regret this real fast. So these books are books that I've been gifted. Those are always the ones I go to first. So if we start, actually here we have first two books. This one doesn't count because that's book for this month. But here we've got Anxious People, had this one since July, haven't read it yet. We've got here all of these. Definitely, this is I May Be Wrong, which I have from my personal trainer, she lent it to me. In the same note I have Surrounded by Idiots, I borrowed this from my colleague. Then we've got the Crescent Moon Tea Room, which I wanted to start sometime last year, but then I never did. Sounds Like a Plan, which I did start, but did not get that far, and I postponed it to later. And then of course Somewhere Beyond the Sea, I got this beautiful Illuminate edition, and I still haven't gotten to this one yet, so here it is. And then we go to all of the ones that have been gifted to me. So, we go The Beekeeper of Aleppo. This is gonna be a lot of books, okay? But I don't care. I don't care. These are all the books that are like the top of my list, and this is going to be very useful for later when we are picking the books for this challenge. So watch me regret this in about 5 seconds. But we've got Live Impossible by Matt Haig. We've got Christmas at Carly's Cupcakes and Snowflakes Over the Starfish Cafe, both by Jessica Redland. We've got The Secret Garden. The Secret Garden in Swedish. I got this from my boss. The Layers, Eva. We've got non-fiction, Climate Crisis and the Global Green New Deal. The Death of Vivek Oji. The Merciless Ones, which is the second in a series. I don't have the third one, so if this will be picked, I would also have to read the first one, so we'll see about that. On Fire, The Possession of Mr. Cave. Then we continue, give me a second. We've got the hardback of Hera by Jennifer Saint. The Book That Wouldn't Burn, beautiful floppy edition. Where the Crow That Sing, I've been avoiding this one, but definitely belongs in there as well. Now They Fell. Father Christmas and Me by Matt Haig, which is the last book in the series. I still haven't read this one yet. I tried last year, I read the first two again, didn't get to the third one. So we've got In His Father's Footsteps by Daniel Steele and My Chinese Decade by Pavel Dvořák, which is like a Slovak guy, his story of living in China for 10 years. And that's it. And then I have also a list of all the Illuminate books I have, but I'm not gonna grab all of those. But this is the list. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna lift all of them, but they are here. I can take a picture later. That's a lot of books. Should we count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 books. I think that will do it, right? We're back. This is a little bit too low, but now you can see all of the books. You can see all of the books here. So that's my answer for this question. That gives us quite a choice, doesn't it? But let's go to the book number 3, or question number 3. Book that you recently got that you haven't read yet. And here we've got 2, but one of them is in Swedish, and there is a reason why I don't want to read it just yet. So I'm not going to even mention that one, but it's Evenings and Weekends by Oisin McKenna. I got this in Gothenburg last month, no, in September. Have it signed by Jack Edwards. So this is the last book I got. Yes. And still haven't gotten to it. Question number 4. A book you had forever but haven't read yet. And here we've got a few actually. I did look into it. I have a list and I always write down when I got the book. And here I'm thinking top 2 books that would count for this is, let me get them. Found it! Oh, I'm falling. Okay. One I got a long time ago, very cheap in a second-hand store, is Swedish translation of Veronica Decided to Die by Paulo Coelho. Haven't read it yet. I'm a little bit scared of it, but there is an option. And another book that would be like the top two would be The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This one I got in 2018 in London, and this one I got, I think, in 2018 before that, like early 2018 somewhere. So this been on my shelves for 7 years and haven't read, so those would qualify for this prompt for sure. Let me have a sip of my tea, see if it's cold now. Cold enough to drink. Ooh, here we have. Next question is a book a friend recommended that you haven't read yet. And here I just took the books that you guys recommended to me in 2024, I believe. That was 12 books to read in 12 months recommended by 12 friends in 2024, and those I haven't gotten to yet. There is actually 4 of them. One of them I don't know physically, so I'm not counting that one. But the first one is The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. I have this one. I think this one was actually recommended to me back in 2022 even, and then it just kept going into next year and next year. So this one is one of the oldest ones. And then I got recommended also Malice by John Gwynne. I read one book by John Gwynne and I loved it. And then The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. So these are the 3 books on this list. I could honestly read any of these books. Like, I would be so excited. Next question is a book you're procrastinating on. And here I just decided to pick books by authors that I love. So I bought the books immediately and still haven't read a few years later. So, well, one of them would be The Life Impossible. I got this in July, still haven't read it. But let me get the other ones. So, one of them would be To Paradise by Hania Nigahara. Got it immediately as it came out. Still haven't read it. Terrified to read it. Next one is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. And I loved the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I enjoyed quite a lot the second one, The Devil in the Dark Waters. So I'm a little bit like scared of this one. Like, will I love it or not as much? Like, will it be a little bit disappointment? So that's why I've been postponing. And then one book that's not by my favorite author. I never read anything by this author, but it's been on my TBR for many years, and it made it to my TBRs, like, you know, monthly TBRs, a few times, and I never got to it. So I feel like that definitely one I've been postponing and procrastinating on, and that's The Book Thief. I'm just terrified of this. I don't know why. I just can't make myself read this. So that would be that for this question. And the last question is the next book on your TBR. And as of right now, the next book would be The Burning Earth, which by the time of the live show, no, by the time of the challenge weekend, I hope will already be read, so can't count that one. But there is The Bookshop Below, which I have as an ARC from Ned Gelly, so I want to read that for sure. And then Braiding Sweetgrass, which I have over there, but that's, I don't know if that would be great for this challenge either, but that's definitely next on the TBR, because that's our book club book for November, or well, June, but we postpone it to November, so that's definitely next on the TBR. So these are all the books, and looking at it is absolutely terrifying. Like, maybe I actually should write it down and just do all of these, and then read other books once I finish all of this. But that feels like a little bit too much of a commitment and it wouldn't work. So we'll see, we'll figure something out. But with all that being said, it is now time to jump to the second part of the video, and that is to pick what challenge from the HRCYED bingo board I'll be working on during our next weekend challenge weekend, which is going to be in, well, today's Monday, so it's not going to be this weekend, but the next weekend. But I thought I would film it this early to have time to find books and potentially get them from library or whatever I would need in case I need it. So, We're going to... oops, a book fell, that's fine. This time I'm going to do it a little bit different, not going to use the jar, but I have all of the challenges here in this bag, and I'm going to put them in my dice tray. There they are. So I'm going to pick one from here. This is so terrifying. This is always so exciting but so terrifying. So this challenge weekend that's coming up, November challenge weekend, I'm gonna be working on this HRCYED challenge. This one. I don't know which, that way. Alright, let me see if I can make it work for you. There you go. Subgenres of choice. Okay, we can definitely make that work for there as well, so we'll see. Okay, here is my spreadsheet, so subgenres of choice. I'm doing pretty good on, so we've got, all of them are already filled except of one. I had here queen bee for one of the options, but that one I already used for a different prompts, so I can't use that here. So I still have one book to read for this, and from all of these that are available, and I think the ones that are kind of like most time sensitive would be the ones, start with the ones that are next on my TBR, and that is the bookshop below. So I checked what the bookshop below would qualify as fantasy, and it would qualify as a urban fantasy. So I think we could work with that. The bookshop below would be urban fantasy if it's an option, which I hope it is. Urban fantasy. And then Peter Pan, what is Peter Pan? Adventure. We don't have adventure, so could definitely be adventure. And there we go, we are trying to eliminate Harry Potter here. And so these are the options, so all of them are already done, so here we would have only one book to read, which I feel is a little bit too easy, you know? We're gonna start with that one. That's gonna be the priority on the weekend, but I feel like we can try one more challenge and see if we can get at least one more book, you know? Okay, so this is what it looks like. We've got Peter Pan for adventure fantasy. We've got Daughter of the Pirate King for romance fantasy. We'll have the bookshop below for urban fantasy. Uprooted for fairy tale fantasy. Uncharmed for cozy fantasy, and The Bewitching for horror fantasy. And yeah, I chose fantasy because that is my most read genre, and so I thought it would be the easiest. And I know like this is the hardest challenge, I don't read as much, so I just wanted to make it on myself as easy as possible. And so this is what happened here. We did this, adding the Daughter of the Pirate King, Uncharmed and The Bewitching, no, Uprooted and The Bewitching. Those three are now counted for two different prompts, so I will have to remove them from all of the other prompts, other challenges, but I will do that a little bit later. But let's go for a second challenge, because, you know, one book seems just maybe not enough. I feel like I can do better than that. And also I have that as an audiobook, so I could pick one physical book as well. So I mean, I have the bookshop below as an audiobook, so I could pick a physical book. So let me pick one more here. One fell out, so we're gonna do that one. I don't know which side is it. That side. I'm scared of this one. I know what it is. Can you see it? Well, it is favorite HRCYED one prompt. So this one I'm scared of. Alright, this is... it's kind of backfired, but it's fine, that's fine. For this challenge, you're supposed to go through the prompts for HRCYED 1 and pick one that you like the most and do that one. So for this I picked the challenge, I picked the 5 books with lowest rating on your Goodreads or Storygraph TBR list. So we can do that right away. Let's have a look what is on my TBR that has lowest rating. And we're gonna do, I'm gonna have kind of like some vetoes that I don't have it or I don't want to read it right now. But if I own it, I will get it, definitely. So if we order by average rating, there we go. We've got Sign of the Eight, which is an arc, so that's a perfect pick. Let me write it down actually. So we're gonna do Sign of the Eight. Next one is We All Fall Down, which is an Illuminate book, so perfect. We all fall down. Is the second one. Third one, ooh, he get the Danish Art of Coziness. I have this, I think I got it free on Stuff Your Kindle Day or something like that. But I can read that one. Hige sounds good, also as a non-fiction. Okay, Pride, Prejudice and Turkish Delight. I love the sound of this. It's also a book I got on Stuff Your Kindle Day, and it's, I think, Turkish retelling of Pride and Prejudice. Pride, Prejudice and Turkish Delight. And then we've got Näcken, which is a book I got recently and it's in Swedish and I'm not ready to read that. And we've got Krasny Ludzie, Beautiful People. Sounds perfect. Honestly, I'm really excited about all of these books. So let me get the ones that I physically own. So, out of those 5, I have these 2 physically. The We All Fall Down by Illuminate, beautiful Illuminate edition, which is kind of bizarre that it has such a low rating. But yeah, it's a pretty edition, really pretty. And the second one I got in Slovakia, and I wanted the Slovak book to see what people in Slovakia read. And this one I think is about a woman who is struggling with anxiety, so that's why I got it. And then I have the 3 other books which I have on my Kindle. Of course, the goal is to finish all of these. So should this vlog end when I read all of these 6 books? That would be absolutely insane because I have so many other books to read this month. So I think I will definitely prioritize these books. I will prioritize all 5 of them. But we're gonna aim at 3 this weekend. And I think we're gonna aim at first one, the bookshop below, for subgenres of choice. Second one, Sign of the Eight, because it's arc, and I think I need to read my arcs. And third one, I'm gonna go for We All Fall Down by Rose Sebo. And this is also, I think, has LGBT plus rap in it, which I think is why it has such low rating, is because people say it has horrible horrible representation in it. So we'll see how this one goes. So that's my goal for this challenge. This has been so far such a long video, but that's fine. I'm having a good time. I hope you are too. So now I can go and put all of these books back. It was completely useless. It was not completely useless, but I didn't pick any of the books. It just didn't fit. It just didn't fit this time around. It was very... My prompts were very limited. They were very limited. But it's okay. I picked 1 book that I talked about from the tag. So that will be 1 book that I could count from previous. That wouldn't be too bad. Or should I... Change of plans. Change of plans. Oh my god, genius. How about instead of doing 5 worst ones on my TBR, which I think it's fun and I want to do it, but at the same time, how about from all of these books that I picked, I read the worst ones, the worst rated ones? Could we do that? So go through the Goodreads and find the books that I already listed today. Oh my god, that's exciting! I want to do that! Can we please do that? I decide, I say we do that. We do that. This is exciting, so grab your tea and let's do this. So I'm gonna go through the list, and the books that we mentioned today are gonna be the ones that I'm gonna be reading. We can scroll for a bit here, but let's see. We've got this Red Scholar's Wake. Burnt Sugar. Let's see, any of the books that we talked about. Oh my gosh. I should maybe go to the books I own instead. Own physical. That's gonna be faster. And average rating. There we go. And here we should be able to find something. The Possession of Mr. Cave. We've got one. Where are you? Where are you? Here. The Possession of Mr. Cave. The Life Impossible. Oh my god, 2 Matt Haig's. The Life Impossible. I'm really sad they have such low ratings though. Sounds Like a Plan. There we go. That's 3. Layers. Perfect. I'm excited about that one. Where are you? Here. And the Crescent Moon Tea Room. There we go. So, this is the list of the 5 books. That was faster than expected, honestly. And yeah, which ones of them I will start with, I don't know. I have no idea which one I will feel like it the most at the time. So these 5s are gonna be the ones read for this challenge. And the system, what I'm gonna do is that I will try to read as many of these from the for the challenge as possible, for the tag, and then continue with them throughout the month. But if I do not complete these 5 by the end of this month, then I will switch to the worst books I actually own, and the first 5 we talked about. So then I'll switch to those. So we'll make like a mix of the two if I don't manage to read all of these 5 now. And I think that's a bit more fair. So I'm excited. And we have 2 Matt Haig's. I love Matt Haig, so it sounds great. And then we've got the Cozy Fantasy. We've got Cozy Fantasy, the Crescent Moon Tea Room. We've got the Layers, which is climate fiction. And Sounds Like a Plan is a book Hendrik picked for me for Christmas when, yeah, I wanted to get one more book, and I told him like, you go and pick. And it's I think like private detectives fall in love. And they are kind of like rivals, and then they, I think, fall in love. So it's we'll see. I don't know. I started it and it sounded good. It was alright, but then I got into other books. So that is the plan for this. That quite backfired. I hoped we would be able to pick a challenge where I didn't have to read that many books for it, but it is one of those months apparently, so let's just roll with it. And I do have to read a lot of books to complete my Goodreads challenge for the year, so it might as well help. So let's see what happens. Hello. It is now Friday evening, the challenge weekend time. 11 o'clock. I don't know if you can see that. It is 11 o'clock in the evening, so the first day of the challenge is basically over. I've been meaning to check in with you, but I was trying to focus on my reading, so that's why that hasn't happened. But I unfortunately am still reading my book club book, The Burning Earth by Sunil Amrit. We have the live show on Sunday, so I have to finish it. I did plan to, or I really wanted to finish it by today 7 o'clock when the sprints began, which Cleo was sprinting on YouTube. So thank you, Cleo, again for sprinting and kicking us off into the weekend. So I wanted that to be done so I could at 7 start with the bookshop below, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I am halfway through this. It is only 4 hours left of the book, but it is very dense book. Like, it's quite difficult to focus for me for a long time, so it's taking me a long time. But I do hope to finish tomorrow. I do hope to make some progress still today, but yeah, unfortunately that was a bad start. On the other hand, I did manage to start a little bit of the bookshop below. I have it on audiobook on NetGalley, so I started listening to 1.5 chapter, and so far it's interesting. We have a lot of intriguing situations happening, or intriguing situation happening in the first chapters, so I am very much intrigued. And when I continue listening to that, when I'm done with The Burning Earth, I'm going to be listening to the audiobook and doing my bookmark. I ordered this last weekend. It arrived pretty fast. I already started. I wanted to start it when I start the bookshop below, but I couldn't wait. So I started it earlier this week. That's also why I haven't been able to finish this. I've just been obsessed with cross-stitching at the moment. So I just, allowed myself to do this. And it's a little like a Christmas elf. I don't know if I can... You know what? I'm not gonna show you. I hope I finish it by the end of the weekend, or by the end of this vlog anyway. But so this is what I plan to be doing. It's gonna be a bookmark, a Christmassy bookmark. So hope to get progress on that, or finish it anyway. Maybe I'll talk to you a bit later about what other book I plan to read this weekend, because I know I talked about those 5 books, but then later on I was actually thinking that when I was checking the Goodreads, I was only checking the books that I own, which are lowest rated of the ones that I own. And the 2 that I have from the colleague and from my trainer, I did not include those. So I actually went back and double checked that if any of those would end up in the bottom 5. And one of them would. One of them would end up in the worst 5 books on that TBR. And that would be the Surrounded by Idiots. So that's gonna be my book to read. Once I finish this one, I'm gonna jump into the Surrounded by Idiots. And that one I have in Swedish, so we'll see how that goes. But usually non-fiction in Swedish, that kind of non-fiction in Swedish, hopefully should be pretty easy. That's the plan for the weekend. I'm gonna go read more of The Burning Earth while I still can, while I'm not falling asleep. If I start falling asleep now, I will switch to the audiobook and get some of this done to get at least more pages in, even if I'm not able to finish this today. So I don't need to push it all too much. I have until Sunday evening to finish it. And so instead I can get a different progress. It's still progress. So like who's to police what needs to happen. So that's the update right now. I have tennis here, which just ended, so no tennis anymore. No, all the sports ended that were going on this evening, so now I can really just go and focus on reading. So that's what I'm gonna do. It is now Saturday evening. I just wrapped up my sprints, so it is around 7 o'clock in the evening. I've been reading The Burning Earth in the sprints. I am not done yet with it still, so I have about 110 pages left, so I got work to do. And then I continued with the bookshop below while cooking and then cross-stitching. So this is the progress on the cross-stitching. We've got the beard here, and I started to make the edge on this side. Then I continued edge on this side just to have like a frame. So continued with the bookshop below, and that one I'm enjoying a lot. I think it's really cool with this magical bookshop where the bookshop itself decides who's gonna be its owner, or it itself treats people differently based on who it wants in the bookshop, or like it wants to allow in the bookshop and who it doesn't. So it's really cool. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that one, but so far I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to continue with that one a little bit, probably when I do the laundry, but otherwise the rest of the evening is going to be this one. Denise is going to be sprinting a little bit later, so during those sprints I'm gonna be focusing on this, hopefully finishing this. Also in the morning we were at the NHL Open practice, so you know there's the NHL Global Series in Stockholm, and they played a game yesterday and they played a game on Sunday, and the tickets were just too expensive, so you know neither of the teams are our favorites, so we just decided not to go. But then we found out that they have actually open practice that you can buy tickets to, so we went there and it was a lot of fun. It got a bit boring after a while, but from the beginning, like, it was a lot of fun, so I'm glad we went. And then tomorrow we go to town again to hopefully get to see and especially hopefully get to take a picture with the Stanley Cup. That will be super cool. So that's tomorrow. And then continue reading the bookshop below. It looks like I will not really be reading much anything else. I will focus on finishing the bookshop below tomorrow, and only if I need something physically will I start another book. Otherwise I will focus on bookshop below. In that sense, I will maybe only do one HRCYED challenge this weekend, even though I did hope to get to more books, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Reading, I'm still making good progress, so it's still good. So now I'm gonna go move over to the living room, turn on some darts, I think, and read more of The Burning Earth. Ignore the mess. It is a mess here, I know. It is now 1 o'clock in 20 minutes, in like 1 at night. So it is very late. I've been reading, oh my god, sorry. I've been reading The Burning Earth, and I unfortunately haven't been able to finish it because I was just too tired by the end to focus. Like I know I was reading, I know like we are getting to the part that I'm like really interested in. We are now in like 80s, 90s. And you know, that's like kind of close to where we're now. But I just couldn't focus whatsoever. So I was like, okay, that's, you know, that doesn't make any sense to push through. So I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow. That should be like 2 sprints, if I do sprints in the morning. And then I continued with the bookshop below. And I got, I think, about like 42% through, almost halfway, but not quite yet. And I've been working on the bookmark, so I made progress. He's got now shoes and gloves here and the border we've got, so there is some progress. I'm not necessarily happy with my progress, but I think it makes sense the way it's been happening. I do want to still finish the bookshop below, which I don't know if it will happen because tomorrow seems to be a quite busy day. So we'll see, but you never know. It seems like maybe that will be the only challenge we'll be doing in this month, but it's okay. I will continue with the other challenge as a priority, and I will be reading those books. It just won't be for this weekend, and it won't be for this vlog, I think. It just doesn't seem like feasible. So I think I'm going to try to cross stitch and listen a little bit more because I just brushed my teeth. So I might wake up a bit, like I might be a little bit more awake at the moment. So I will try to push through a little bit more and see how far I get before I go to sleep, and then go to sleep because I'm tired now. It is late, so I'll talk to you probably in the morning how it's going, and when I finish Burning Earth to finally get that done. oh my gosh, midnight, Sunday night. I did say I would update you in the morning, and I did want to. Then I ended up not to. I was just feeling like reading, so I read instead. I did finish The Burning Earth before lunch. So this was, you know, done for the book club. I made a little mark here. Maybe I will go through it and mark more of it. But I finished The Burning Earth before lunch, and had a live show about it to discuss it at 7 o'clock. I don't think I'll talk about this one too much, but it is really a history book. I think if you're interested in environment and in history, this one is perfect. Or if you're interested in either of them, it starts in 1200, I think, to describe like the migration or traveling of different tribes and different peoples, and how countries were colonized and slavery and all kinds of things, and all up to this day. So it's very interesting how it really links things from the past to the environmental issues we see today. So this was really interesting, and I do recommend. And then after that, we went to town to see the Stanley Cup, because they were showing up the Stanley Cup in the city, and we could take a picture with it. So I was super happy. I actually didn't expect that I would be that happy about it. So it just warmed my heart, and like just like woke up my, I don't know, inner teenager who loved hockey so much. And I mean, I still love hockey, but I was then like obsessed with hockey. Now it's just like, I mean, even now, like what you can see the light changing, it's because hockey is on, like NHL game is on. So I still love hockey, but it's not as active as it used to be, but it still just came right to me, and I was just like a little child, so happy. And then we got to play a little like stick handling there on a little, well, I can show you videos actually, because we have a video of Henrik playing it and me playing it, so maybe I can show you. But it was fun in the city with this global NHL Global Series. And then came home, had dinner, and had the live show, and then continued reading The Bookshop Below, which is basically the most important book this weekend for this vlog. And unfortunately I didn't manage to finish it, so I was just starting to get too tired. I was even too tired to cross stitch. I was just like, I just don't want to do this anymore, which I know I do want to, but I'm just so tired right now that I'm just like, so I got to about 84% of the book. I have maybe 1.5 hours of the audiobook left, so I will finish that tomorrow. It is not ideal, it is outside of the weekend, but I will finish that tomorrow, and with that I will finish my HRCYED challenge of the subgenres. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I feel like I'm missing something in that book. Well, what it's about is basically we follow our main character Cassandra, who finds herself pulled into this situation where she ends up owning a bookshop. Bookshops always have to have owners, and especially these magical bookshops always have to have owners. And the owner of this bookshop died and sent a letter to her that she is to be the new owner. And so she knows nothing about bookselling or like owning a bookshop, but she's like, okay, I gotta do this. He wished me to do that, so I'm gonna do that. And things unravel. There is some evil magicians, there is good magicians, there is romance, there is dedicated friends, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it, but at the same time I feel like there is just something that's not clicking, and I don't know what that is. I feel like the world building is not as detailed as I would like. I think that might be my biggest problem. But overall I'm still enjoying it. So we'll see how the ending will turn out. I will try to finish it tomorrow. Also, progress of my cross stitch is this. So I only have a little mistletoe up here and mistletoe down here, and then I'm done. So a lot of progress there. I will update you tomorrow when I finish the book, and then I can also, bring you to my spreadsheet and see how that shows up in the spreadsheet when I finish that challenge. And I will start the Surrounded by Idiots as well, but I will not be vlogging it here. I will update you on how that challenge went in the next vlog, because I did pull that out of the box and I do plan to focus on that following month until the next challenge. And so, you know, because I think I threw away that paper, so I would need to create a new one, but I'm not gonna do that. So I'm going to work on that list anyway. Yeah, I will update you in the next vlog on the progress on that one. So that is the update for now. I will talk to you tomorrow when I finish the bookshop below. All right, time for the final update. It is now Wednesday evening, and I actually finished the bookshop below yesterday, but I was absolutely flushed by the time I finished it, so I decided not to update the vlog because the energy would be very bad. Let's see if the light is better like this, maybe. Now you can see the other side of the room. But okay, maybe a little bit better light. I finished the book, so that means I finished the subgenre challenge. But what did I think about the book? I had it from NetGalley, so I'm supposed to rate not only the content of the book, but also, or like content, not the book itself, but also the performance of the narrator. So what did I think? Overall, I think I give it a 3-star because it was fun. I loved the idea. We had some ink magic, reading magic. It was fascinating, but I feel like we did not actually get proper explanation of how the world works, of how the magic works. I felt quite lost. I had no idea how any of it works. And I think that's kind of what bothered me the most, because otherwise I think I like the story. There are some twists and turns that I absolutely didn't see coming and were just like, okay, that's new. I love that. But I don't know, it just didn't touch me in any way, didn't make me feel anything. It was fine, but you know, the premise sound or the title even sounds way better than the book actually was. So I think 3 stars. When it comes to the audiobook, I think the narrator was very good when it came to about 90% of the book. But there are some parts, or when there are some, especially male characters, and the female narrator was, I felt like not doing very good job. I think she was a little bit overdoing it with the male voices in some cases, and it really took me out of the story. I felt like this cannot be the way the character talks. I don't know, it just felt a little bit like it was throwing me a little bit out of touch with the book. But you know, I did enjoy it. I had a good time with it. I was looking forward to going back into it, even though towards the end I was kind of like, I don't really care what happens. I have no idea what's even trying to happen. Like, I don't know if it's the mind space I was in or what, but that's the update. Unfortunately, did not enjoy it all that much, but still enjoyed it enough. So 3 stars I think is fair enough. So now we're gonna go and look into the spreadsheet, what that looks like. For this HRCYED challenge this weekend, I managed to read only this book, so only the bookshop below, which is very disappointing, but I'll take it. I was still able to read most of 2 books actually, even though one of them was not for HRCYED. So I completed 1 challenge, and so I'm going to show you how that looks now with all the covers in it. And we're gonna tick it done, and then I also counted the bookshop below for new releases because it was released yesterday. No, it was supposed to be released yesterday, but it's actually released tomorrow, on 20th of November. So yeah, it counts for November release book. And then that's the two prompts for the book. So I can't count it for more than that at the moment. But it does count as a bonus book for this month. So I can count one book so I can count one book I read earlier in the year. So I'm gonna do that whenever, for the following challenges, when I'm gonna be picking books. When I'm missing some prompt and I need a book, I can go through the books that I read before the HRCYED started. And that's how I'm going to do that one. But yeah, let me share my screen with you. So here is the spreadsheet. I already updated it in the tracker and points calculator, but here we can put it for the subgenres of choice as a urban fantasy. So insert, come on, image in the cell. And there we have it. So this challenge completed. What does it look like on the bingo board? There it is, subgenres of choice in the first row. Exciting, very exciting. So yeah, now I can go log it for the HRCYED challenge, officially log these books, and then I'm going to be continuing reading the where was it, the HRCYED 1. No, that was in the beginning, right next to that one. Yeah, HRCYED 1. I'm gonna go continue with these books as much as I can in November, but if I don't get to all of them, to these 5, specifically these 5, then I'm gonna do these 5 that are actually lowest rated on my overall TBR, not only the lowest rated from the tag that I did. So that's the plan. You know, original plan is always to do 1 challenge during these HRCYED challenges. This time I thought maybe I could do 2 because I picked a challenge where I was missing only 1 book. But unfortunately, I got stuck a little bit with a different book that I needed to read and prioritize. So I managed to do only 1 challenge, but that still completes a challenge. So I'm happy about that. Also, I can show you the new releases tab, because here I need to update November as well. I can put the bookshop below, and there we go. In the center, please. September, I don't know yet, because I read 2 books that were published in September, so we'll see which one will be allowed. So whenever one of them will be picked, or like will be already taken for 2 prompts, the second one will automatically be placed here. But for now, I don't know which one that is, so I'm gonna leave it open. But I need to also add the October book, which is Finding My Way by Malala. Here for October, I can place Malala. There we have it. Awesome. I already have picked my December read. As you can see, I actually got it approved today on NetGalley. I requested it today and I got immediately approved. It's an audiobook published that will be published 1st of December. The Xmas Breakup, which is a romance where exes have, exes with benefits kind of relationship, and it turns all kinds of messy. And then February, I also have a book from NetGalley. It's The Floating Venice Bookshop, also a romance. So those are the 2 books I'm gonna be reading for December and February. We'll see. January I don't have sorted out yet, so we'll see. Bingo board looks like this. I have, as of right now, completed 5 challenges, which is amazing. I also am very close to finishing the nonfiction challenge, so we'll see when that happens, if that happens. And we shall see how this continues. So this is it for this round of HRCYED challenge. It was a little bit underwhelming in my opinion. I really wanted to do a lot more, but that's fine. So if you watch this far, write in the comments what's your favorite genre to read. If you have a favorite genre, because the focus was subgenres of choice. So I picked fantasy because I typically read most of fantasy. So I thought that was the easiest one. It proved to, not be completely wrong, because by the time we pulled it up, about 3rd month in, I got already 4 of the 5 sorted. So not a bad call. So in the comments below, let me know what is your favorite genre, or if you don't have a favorite genre and you are participating in HRCYED, then let me know what is the genre you are using for this subgenre of choice. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to be back in December for the December audition for the December edition, and that one will probably be more Christmassy themed, or at least that will be my attempt. Whatever I pick, we'll see what I pick, what I'll end up, you know, pulling out of the bowl or bag or whatever it's going to be. And yeah, well, we'll see. It's gonna be fun either way, I'm sure. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.